about the Harlem Renaissance and its impact on Black theater of what we have learned today in class. Let's take a look at the slides and see what we have been preparing for. So, what is the Harlem Renaissance? I'm sure we all are aware of this, but to go over it, it was a time and period between the 1910s and lasted until 1937 to around 1994. I know that's a pretty big gap to guesstimate, but it basically was influenced black theater as a whole with vibrant ritual performances. It sparked off as an artistic and socio-cultural awakening among a lot of African Americans. Famous playwriters have done their plays revolving around self-assertion and cultural foundation in African American historical routes. Basically, just sparked a lot of plays revealing around racism and discrimination that was happening around this time period and brought many African Americans together to show their plays around the country. So, a couple of famous playwrights and directors, such as Zora Neale Hurston, Paul Robinson, Catherine Dunham, and Courtney Cullen. What these playwriters have done, specifically with Hurston, uh, she focused on films about how African American culture was a unique segment in American history. And while Robinson, to contrast her with him, he did his time on spending on fighting against African American racism. What he did was he accepted a role in O'Neill's play, basically a famous director at the time, despite getting repeated threats from the Ku Klux Klan. This what he Robinson basically was like, I'm not letting this supremacist group affect my life. I'm going to accept this role and I am going to challenge society as a whole from way back when. Basically, these film directors and all their plays were started off by an autistic freedom thanks to the rise of the Federal Theater Project, and along with Kathleen Dunham and Courtney Cullen, had their films in black theater basically showed across the country as a result because of this. So all these playwrights and actors, they didn't want to get affected by any supremacist group. They want to show off what they've been writing. They want to show off how their acting ability is instead of who they are based on their skin. In more modern day people such as Spike Lee, Ryan Coolidge, Ava DuVernay, and Cassie Lemons, to go off with Spike Lee and Cassie Lemons, they challenged the modern view of racial stereotypes and allowed more African Americans to be in their films and in the film business within Hollywood, being like directors, actors, actresses, playwrights, or just being on stage, or just being behind the stage and on the stage. Ryan Coolidge is centering on overlooked cultures, which were mainly African American cultures. In America, we tend to look over African American cultures, but Ryan Coolidge basically was the one to uh, take over that and was bringing more of his films that we've seen today, predominantly focused around African American culture, depending on like many parts of the globe. They're in states like New York, Long Island, California, Florida, Texas, and so on. We have different cultures for different people, especially within white and black communities. Fit culture is more stretched out and diverse, like putty, which is what Ryan Coolidge is trying to do with African American cultures across the country. Ava DuVernay became the first African American woman to be nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Director. That is a huge step in the African American community, and without the Harlem Renaissance, we wouldn't have got there today to be nominated at least for a Golden Globe Award. So, why is this special? Like I said, without the Harlem Renaissance, black actors, actresses, directors, and so on would not be in major Hollywood businesses or be in or be making movies or be in movies, especially. The Harlem Renaissance served as a cultural movement that brought many African Americans to serve and create their own pieces of films to be shown to the public. It also challenged racial discrimination, made Americans slowly change, and brought African Americans to be in films and movie businesses as a part of their plays that they wished for. And with that, That's all I have to say for this slideshow presentation. I hope you had a good day watching it. I'll see you guys next soon, and goodbye.